In this video, you'll learn the very best way to memorize the fretboard so you know where all the note names are in an instant. It's one thing to learn the note names, it's another thing to be able to find them in an instant. Hi, this is Simon Candy from AcousticGuitarLessonsOnline.net, and in this lesson I show you a foolproof method for finding all the notes on the fretboard so that you become familiar with them, but more importantly, that you can find them immediately. Learning the guitar fretboard can be daunting, I know, I get it, but for those who do, guitar playing becomes so much easier. It's the equivalent of trying to find something in a dark room with the lights off, it's pitch black, versus trying to find something in a room when the light is on and you can see everything. Meaning that when you know the note names on the guitar, you can find scales and chords and arpeggios and riffs, and you can know exactly where to go immediately to be in the right key for any particular situation that you're playing in. So learning the note names is hugely beneficial to your guitar playing. So today I share with you a strategy that gets you familiar with all the note names on the fretboard so that you can find them immediately. But before we get into that, I'm first going to show you some key reference points that lay a little bit of foundation, some note reference points on the fretboard. Then we'll get into this method. And let me tell you, this works if you follow it very carefully. And that is exactly what I'm going to show you today. So let's get to it. Now, just quickly, why learn all the notes on the fretboard? I mean, you heard me briefly say that it's easy to find things. And yes, that's basically the reason, because trying to find things on the guitar, you have 0 seconds to find things in real life when you're playing, whether it's a scale in a particular key or it's a riff or a chord. You've got to know it without even thinking. Speed is very, very important. And if you don't know the note names, as I said, it's like trying to find something in a dark room, or it's like driving off somewhere, guessing where you're going to go. No navigation, no map. That's how it is when you don't know the notes on the fretboard. It makes life really, really difficult. And if you're into or you want to learn to read music notation, well, knowing the notes on the fretboard is 50% of that skill. The other thing is any musical theory concept that you learn, you will be able to apply to the fretboard because you know the note names. If you need to target certain notes, like the E in a C chord, well, if you don't know where the E note is, that's all well and good to know that E is a nice note to play over a C chord. It's the third, of course, but not much good in practice if you can't find that E note on the guitar, okay? And that goes for pretty much every theory concept. Theory is great, but we've got to be able to apply it to the fretboard. So fretboard knowledge goes hand in hand with music theory. So a little bit of foundation first before we get into this specific strategy I'm going to share with you today. And that is, I mean, if you're brand new to the guitar, or certainly to note naming, probably the first names of notes you'll learn are, of course, the open strings. We've got E, B, G, D, A, and E, okay, from top to bottom. So there's a start, you know the open strings. The next thing would be to know that the open string notes repeat 1 octave higher, 12 frets higher on the string. So we've got E, low string, so E is also at the 12th fret, but it's an octave higher, as you can hear from the low string. A repeats at 12, 1 octave higher. D, D, G, G, B, B, E, E on top. So now you know the notes at the 12th fret. Now another key reference point, and you might be familiar with this one if you tune your guitar this way, and that is that the open string repeats on the 5th fret on the string below. So you can hear open E and 5th fret on the 2nd string below is E. The only time this is not the case is the 2nd to 3rd string, or 3rd to 2nd string, because of the different tuning or the different interval between those two strings. So the B open string repeats at the 4th fret on the 3rd string, but every other string pair will be at the 5th fret. So G at the 5th on the 4th string below. D open 4, that will be at the 5th fret on the string below, the 5th string. An open 5th is A, so that will be at the 6th fret of the A string, so of the E string rather. So we often use this as a bit of a tuning method too, so you'll certainly hear if you're in tune or not when you do this, but this helps you learn then where, you know, these open strings repeat again. So now you know E, you know E, you know E, you know, there's a few little key parts starting to build a little bit of scaffolding, if you like, to then see where all the other notes are. Now I want to credit this particular strategy to the person who taught it to me, and I believe came up with this particular method for learning the notes on the guitar, and that's Tommaso Zilio. Now he runs a very, very great theory website, musictheoryforguitar.com. I'm going to link to it in the description below this video, and he's got some great courses there on chords and modes, which I highly recommend. Anything theory, Tommaso will be able to help you with. He helped me learning all the notes on the fretboard. In fact, I tell you what, I knew the notes on the fretboard, but I didn't know them as quickly as I thought I did. Okay, and my previous sort of method was, and you might be familiar with this, it's certainly a common one, is, okay, let's use octave shapes. So if you know an octave shape, you can find notes all over the fretboard, right? Here's a C, there's a C. So there's a C, there's a C, and there's the octave. And this is good, you can work out where the notes are. The problem is, it creates this little hurdle in your mind that you have to do that first to find. So if I want to find this C note on the third string, I'm sort of like, well, oh, there it is. That doesn't seem like that takes long, but that's a long time when you're playing music. You need to find them instantly. So this particular method bypasses all that and gets you familiar with the notes, as you need to for playing in real life. And as I say, Tommaso Zilio taught me this method. Check out his website and courses. I'll link in the description below this video. And thank you, Tommaso, for showing me this method. What is the method? Well, we are going to name notes between the 1st and the 12th frets. And what you'll find, not the open strings, no open strings, just the 1st and the 12th fret, okay, within that range. And what you'll find is any given note will appear only once on each string. And we're going to begin with the natural notes, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Okay, and you're going to play, let's do the A here, the A note where it appears on each string. So you'll find that A appears on the 6th string at the 5th fret, then it's at the 12th fret on the 5th string. We don't play A open because we're only between frets 1 and 12 here, no open strings. So A at 6, A will then be at the 12th fret on the 5th string. It will also be on the 4th string, but at the 7th fret, it will be at the 2nd fret on the 3rd, and then you jump an octave to get to the 10th fret for the A note on the 2nd string, and it's back at the 5th fret on the top string. So you play and name the note. A, 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 A. And when you get to the top, you come back. A, 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 A. Then you move to the B note and you do the same. So B at the 7th fret. B is at the 2nd fret on the 5th string. It's at the 9th fret on the 4th. 4th fret on the 3rd. It's up at the 12th fret on the 2nd string, and it's the 7th fret on the top string. B, 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 and then B, B. Had to think, too late. And then you could take the C note and do the same thing. C at the 8th, C at the 3rd fret on the 5th string, 10th fret on 4, 5th fret on 3. It's the 1st fret on the 2nd string, and the 8th fret on the 1st. And then we're coming back down. Okay, now I won't go through every natural note here, but you get the idea. You want to go then to D and find where all the D notes are and come back down and get it to a point where it's reasonably smooth and fluent. Take your time, name the note. Don't worry about patterns or anything like this. Just plain and naming the note like this is going to start to get you familiar with the note names. When you go to B or you're on C or D, don't worry about A or the note that came before. You'll probably forget it because you're now on a new note. That's okay. We're going to start to rotate through this so that we can start to do all the notes in less time and build it up, okay? But just begin by working through each note, just like I demoed there with the A, B, and C notes. Do that with D, E, F, and G, and just move from one to the other. Don't sit there and try and master one note before moving to the next. That's a really big error that a lot of people make, and they're sitting on A until they get that perfect, then we'll get B, then we'll get C. We want all the notes to become familiar to us kind of equally. Some will stick maybe first before others, but you want them to, you know, all come up at the same time. Don't get A all perfect, now I'll work on B. Get that all perfect, now I'll work on C. Rotate through them regularly. And once you can go through each one 3 to 5 times reasonably smoothly, then I've got something else for you. So remember I said the speed is of utmost importance here. We've got to be able to find these things very, very quickly. It's got to be instinctual. Think about the things you do automatically in life now. You're driving your car, you're feeding yourself, you're riding. You don't think about these things, you just do them. They're automatic. And it's the same with the note names. You get them to a point where you don't really need to have them memorized because you'll just be familiar with them and you're looking at the fretboard. So there's nothing really to have to memorize here so much. It's really more about familiarizing and finding these things very quickly. So the next step would be to use a metronome. Okay, so the metronome is going to force you to find the notes quickly. You've got to find one note per click of the metronome. Start with a speed that's suitable, that's not super easy, but if it's really, really easy, time to up it a little bit. And that's what you want to do, increase the speed. But start with something that's, okay. So I've got 80 beats per minute, and I'm going to do the A note, and I'm going to do one to each click of the A note. Okay, and see if I can keep that tempo. So A, 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 A. Okay, so that was fine. So I could up it a little bit more. I mean, I won't go through all the steps here, like, increase the speed 10 at a time. But, I could go really, really quickly. And even if it's really quick, let's see, it's okay if you kind of don't get some of them. It's just training your brain to really think quickly. That's the point. And you want to kind of get it to a point where you can find them quicker than what you even need to. Then it's easier to actually find them in real life. So here's, 140 clicks per minute. A, 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 etc. Right? Now I could up it again and again and again. I mean, I know my note name, so I don't really need to do this myself. The metronome is fantastic for building the speed, okay? And that's a really, really important part. Anyone can kind of work out where the notes are, but can you find them in real life like that? That's what we want to get to. Now, something else you can do here also is this is where we start, because you're going to start with one note probably per session maybe. Then you start to be able to deal with 2 notes per session, and this might be a 5 or 10 minute session. You don't have to spend a long time on this. Just regularly do this each day. Even just 5 minutes a day is enough to get this down. And you'll start, as I said, by 1 note per session. Then you'll start to be able to do 2 notes per session, 3, 4, 5, and then before too long, you'll be able to run through each of the 7 notes in one session. Maybe not super quickly, but all the 7, all the same. Now, you can start to, once you are able to do that, or even before you actually get to that point, you can also ascend one and descend another. So you start to combine them a little bit more. So for example, A, 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 and you could come down B, 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 B. You could do any combination of 2 notes, then you could add 3, 4, 5. You could even just write out random notes in a row, like F, D, C, A. And so you could then go F, F, and find all the F notes until you get, and then all the A notes. And then all the, I don't know what I said next, but let's say it's C, C, and then so on and so forth. Up one, down another. That's starting to combine them more, connect them together and to rotate through these notes more frequently. And then of course there's the accidentals. So not only do we have A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, we've got A sharp, we've got C sharp, D sharp, or the flat names, B flat, E flat, etc. Now the good news is if you get to know where all the natural notes are, then it's easy to find the sharps and the flats. If I know where A is, then I just have to drop it down 1 fret for it to be A flat, or increase or add 1 fret, move it up 1 fret for A sharp. Okay, so if you know where the A's are, you can find A flat and A sharp. However, I would also do the exercises with the sharps and flats, because again, if you know that, then you can work it out. But you're going to find you have a little bit of hesitation in real life playing, trying to find the flats and the sharps if you don't train them the same way. So everything I've just shown you with natural notes, do it with the sharps and the flats when you are ready to do so. The other thing is you think, well, what about above the 12th fret? Well, everything repeats above the 12th fret. Okay, so we start on E again, F, G, F sharp, G, etc. Okay, but of course you could do any 12th fret range here. So you might do We're doing 1 to 12. Maybe you do 3 to 14, or you do 5 to 16. And just a couple of final points here. Blank fretboard paper. This is your friend. Grab some blank fretboard paper, and what you want to do is you want to write and plot the notes on the fretboard. So sit there and plot all the A's, and then, another piece of fretboard paper, plot all the B's, C's, etc., or do it on one piece. But do this regularly and see if you can do it away from the guitar. Initially, you might have to look at the fretboard and plot it out, but putting it down on paper does amazing things for you to be able to see it in your mind and find those notes very quickly. It's really, really, really important to do, and will greatly help you learn all the notes on the fretboard. But ideally, you've got the fretboard paper and there is no guitar. You can do this anywhere, anytime, and you can just see if you can see in your mind where those notes are, looking at the fretboard, and plot them out. That's really, really going to help. So I highly, highly recommend doing that. And the other thing is, when you're playing things on the guitar, just see if you can name the notes. Just kind of consolidate some of the note names. So if you're playing a scale like an A major scale, A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, etc. Or you're playing a riff, see if you can work out the note names, and then forget it and just move on. Because the more you're naming notes, with the method I've shown you today and just in general, and writing it down on blank fretboard paper, the quicker and the better you're going to know where all the notes are, and the easier guitar playing is going to be. I can't tell you how much easier it is to play guitar when you know all the note names. If you would like help with your finger picking, the kind of help that gets you results in the most direct, efficient, fun way possible, then check out the Ultimate Fingerpicking Guitar course, a complete system for fingerpicking acoustic guitar, so simple even a beginner can learn it. I've carefully designed this course to do all the heavy lifting for you, as far as knowing exactly what to do, how to do it, and when to do it in regard to mastering the art of fingerpicking guitar. All you have to do is follow the pathway I've laid out for you. In the Ultimate Fingerpicking Guitar course, you will learn and master all the key concepts, methods, strategies, and techniques needed for fingerpicking, so you'll never put your guitar down in frustration again, thinking, how the hell do I do this? You will also discover the exact order in which to do things, avoiding the all too common mistakes most people make when learning to fingerpick guitar, saving you precious time and frustration. Have your hand held every step of the way with the Ultimate Fingerpicking Guitar course. It will take you from wherever you are at right now with your fingerpicking to where you would like to be, enjoying every part of the process along the way. So click the link in the description below the video and check out the Ultimate Fingerpicking Guitar course. Let me know in the comments below this video what acoustic guitar topics you'd like to see covered in future videos. I read all the comments. I'll do my best to reply to them. Don't be shy, drop me a line. I love to hear from all of you. If you like this video, then hit that like button, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Now, my analytics tell me that about 80% of people who watch my videos are not subscribed. You might see videos pop up in your feed because you've watched videos of mine before, but this does not necessarily mean you are subscribed to the channel. So if you like the videos, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell button, and YouTube will tell you every time I've released a new video, which is every single week. Thank you so much for being here. This is Simon Candy from acousticguitarlessonsonline.net. As always, I really do appreciate you checking out my videos, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.